Facts. I am Maryann Okon, and this is Hard Facts, where we separate truth from fiction. We're passionate about the hard-hitting stories that matter. Get ready to challenge your perception and discover the real world. Let's dive deep into the issues that affect our communities, revealing the untold stories and giving you a voice. No sensationalism, no bias, just raw, unadulterated truth. I am committed to delivering news without compromise. Hard facts as we know them, when we know them, and how they affect you. Every Monday through to Friday, 3 to 6 p.m. This will be your most authentic news experience starting now on 99.3 Nigeria Info. Tired of all the noise and speculation in the news? On Hard Fact, we cut through the clutter and get straight to the truth.
If only Fubra has been aware of the boo-boo trap, he would have understood in democracy there are bases for him to do accordingly.
Join us as we bring you the stories that matter. We go beyond the headlines to uncover the real facts and the core of every story.
We are doing this, we are doing that. At the end of the day, nothing good will come out. What did they promise us? They will be in charge of security and life and whatever. But what are we getting in return?
With in-depth analysis and experts interviews, Hard Facts delivers the truth that others dare not to reveal. Tune into Hard Facts every weekday, 3 to 6 p.m. and arm yourself with the knowledge you need to navigate today's complex world. Hard Facts, where the truth always prevails.
99.3 Nigeria Info.
Let's talk. Well, it's a brand new week, indeed, a reason to be excited. There's something to look forward to, I guess. I'm hoping. I hope that you do have a reason to, give, the week a chance. I know the problems are unending. If it's not one thing, it's the other. But welcome to Nigeria, where the news has something to offer you. It's a gift that never stops giving. Welcome to Hard Facts. This is the nation's #1 talk news and sports radio station, and we're broadcasting live from our audiovisual studios right here in Itimian Crescent, Victoria Island, Lagos. My name is Maryann Okon, and today we're going to take a different turn. As usual, we normally would bring you the big weekend, but because we've had so many things happen over the weekend, from Seyi Makinde accusing the APC at the center for the woes of Nigeria's problems, to a lawyer saying that children visibly that we can see on television are not children, that they're married and some of them graduates, to a minister also using those same children for photo ops. And of course, to Dangote saying, "Well, you can lift my oil for 990. It's not 1,000 exactly. 10 naira is the difference." Welcome to Hard Facts. My name is Maryann Okon. We're starting the conversation today with Aare Hassan. We're picking up from where we stopped last week. Now, this week, the Yoruba Council worldwide is convening a summit of sorts with all Yoruba leaders. Of course, top on the burner, or front on the burner, is Mr. President's policies, programs, activities, and how it is affecting every Nigerian, including the Yoruba people. Joining us now via telephone is Aare Hassan. He is the president of Yoruba Council Worldwide. Aare, thank you for joining us and welcome to Hard Facts. Can you hear me? Dotun, can you hear me? Unfortunately, I think that we've lost the connection with Dotun, so we're going to try to get him back. But it's been a weekend of so many activities. All sorts of things have been happening. And one would wonder, really, where we're really going to. That's the bigger question. Where are we going to? I mean, when I watched Seyi Makinde's video, this is all I thought about. And I'm going to be sincere with you. Please, sir, face your state. No complaining here. Because I have a video of you saying that you were going to deliver for Mr. President. So why are you complaining? Stand on the mandate, sir. But I'm more interested in what the Yoruba Council Worldwide has to say about Mr. President. And don't forget, on the 4 o'clock hour, we're going to be talking about taxes. The northern governors have kicked against these taxes. But the Senate Committee on Finance have come out today to say, look, we're going to go ahead with that bill. Nothing's going to stop it because it's in the best interest of Nigerians. But my guest is joining me from the United States of America on the 4 o'clock hour to explain to us about this VAT and the new tax bill by Mr. President, and if it's going to be beneficial, I beg your pardon, to Nigerians and the different states or not. And on the 5 o'clock hour, the presidential spokesperson, Sunday Aare, joins us live from the FCT. He's going to be answering all your questions. Let's try if the Aare is back with us on the phone line. Dotun, are you there with us?
Yes, I'm on.
All right, thank you for joining us. I know that you're en route to Lagos, but let's pick up from where we stopped last week. Even though we couldn't have time to continue the conversation, you most importantly criticized Mr. President's pick for ministerial appointments, and you criticized that they were more like round pegs in square holes, especially for the Minister of Power. But there are those who would say that these are people that the president thinks know what exactly to do, like the Wale Eduns, like the Cardosos of this world. Can you hear me? Dotun, I think that we're having connection issues with you because you're en route, but can you hear me now? Oh, yeah. This is going to be very, very, very tough for us. Anyway, Lagos, I'm going to play you an audio clip from the lawyer representing the federal government and the lawyer representing the said protesters. And then we're going to find out exactly what your thoughts are on this issue. Tomorrow at 4 or 3, I beg your pardon, I'm going to have a lawyer who also works for an NGO called Hope Behind Bars. She's going to talk to us about the legality of what's going on and if there's really hope for these kids. I mean, because 500,000 is what they gave to, what's his name? Diafin from Abia State. But 10 million for kids and ordinary protesters who were allegedly waving flags for the country. And I think that we've established that with lawyers, SANs on this show to talk about the fact that, A, raising a flag is not a criminal offense. The Constitution is not against it. It's not necessarily a crime. But here is the Nigerian judiciary and the federal government arraigning these people for treason. For me, if you ask me, my opinion does not matter. But what I'm going to be pushing here is, do you notice how we've forgotten about the fact that the protest in itself was about hunger? That issue has not been addressed, was never addressed, will never be addressed. But we're all talking about treason today. Do you see the flip-flop? Yeah. I'll try one more time to see if I can get my guess. If not, we're going to move on to other issues. Hello, Dotun, can you hear me now? I think that you probably have to stay in one position so clearly that we can talk. If you keep moving, we might not be able to hear you. All right, quickly. I'm going to ask my question one more time. You talked about the fact that you did not like the picks for the ministers, and of course the reshufflement you also think was just a sham. Talk to us about it quickly. Well,
in terms of the appointment, I've been issued by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and I'm reaffirming that some of the ministers are square peg in a round hole. And I affirm that the reason in being that not too many of them understand the vision or renewed hope or how the whole thing gets to where we are. A majority of them are just political opportunities to have gotten such a pedestal of appointment. In terms of looking at how recently just the Minister of Works just have admitted just 24 hours ago that it was one of the president that asked him to go and demolish building when he saw critically that this thing is not achievable, where the illegality of violating an outright laws of Lagos State, wherein people that built with with CFO that you can critically invite.
But he's been quoted to say that they've not violated any laws, that they're doing everything that they're doing within the ambits of the law.
Let me explain. We are the government. It's the people, not those that are ends of affair under democracy. It's the people that come first. So you cannot be too overzealous minister trying to tell you what that yes, you are untouchable, you can do things abysmally. It's unreasonable for some people to just throw the entire people around that corridor, the trailer, to those that have built their houses along that line. They bought land genuinely and they pay for CFO. You know what CFO means under the law? Ultimate landowner. For those people now have money and government is still telling them that they have right to do.
Doctor, we're having connection issues. Are you in one location? Because I think that the movement is affecting the conversation and your line is going off and on. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Doctor? Yeah, this is the challenge that you and I are going to have. Well, we're live, facebook.com/Nigeria Info FM. 15 minutes gone past the 3 o'clock hour. This is Hard Facts. My name is Maryann Okon. I'm on with Aare Hassan. He is the president of Yoruba Council Worldwide. And of course, there is going to be a summit this week, if I'm not mistaken. And this summit obviously is going to be front and center, celebrating the Yoruba people, but most importantly, talking about Mr. President's policies, programs, and the promises that he made. Many of them saying that the president has been reneging on some of these promises that he made to Nigerian people, especially Yoruba people. But there are those who obviously, if you are Yoruba and you're listening today and you totally disagree with the council worldwide, and maybe for some there's those who are saying they have an agenda. These are not people who are representing us. And I mean, Mr. President is doing everything in his power to change things. But well, you can join the conversation and tell us what you think. Hello. Dotun, are you there now? Can you hear me? Hello, Dotun, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so you're telling me that the CFO, I mean, of course, the man has said. I also want to reiterate what the Minister of Work said. He said, if you have a problem, go to court. So, I mean, again,
that doesn't make any sense.
Why doesn't it make sense?
The law as a government, you don't behave. Even military will not take us for granted this way. That is a despotic and totalitarian statement, and it's undemocratic. So, Mr. President should look within and around him that he has just picked the wrong set of people to help him manage the affairs of the nation. People without compassion. Somebody built a house of over 20 years with all his life earnings to just rest his life, and a bulldozer went there within 24 hours, demolished all the properties and belongings within the house, and you are telling me to go to court. Where lies the justice? In the justice he's talking about. Is it not the government that is an arm of the government that is a court? Why is he deliberately behaving like that? Why is Mr. President not?
I don't want to, and I'm not holding brief for the federal government. Obviously, Sunday Diary will come and speak about that. But are you telling me that the minute
knows me very well? I'm a supporter of Mr. President.
Okay.
And for the fact that you and I know, we even fought on some of your media while we went all out to defend that he's still the best Democrat that we can ever have to lead us. But regrettably, not all the hands are compassionate and having the same vision. And it's until Mr. President realizes this. So it is not a do or die to have ministers that will put your name in mud or that are not competently to know that, yes, human face. Would they have to wait for Mr. President to cancel the increment in the tariff? Can't they just have carry out a survey to know how the people are faring?
Doctor, I don't also want to believe that. I don't want to believe that any minister will do anything without the consent of the president. You're making it seem like these guys are running amok.
Ministers are technocrats and they are supposed to be proper advisors. You cannot be master of all trade. It's because the president has interest of the people. That's why he thought, being former governor, former CBN official, he brought this set of people thinking they have it all. But it's until when you begin to test on the capability of your appointees, you cannot tell the whole record. That was even when Mr. President reviewed the appointment recently. But we even thought that some of all these people, they are not just on the same page with the people. They are putting the Mr. President against the people. But sometimes Mr. President is not mainly aware. It's until when he gets to social media or become an inferno before we begin to react. So for us, we have to speak to power for Mr. President to realize that he needs to lead with compassion. I know him. That's why I'm supporting him. But he has put out around him wrong pegs.
Okay. Let's talk about the state of the economy. Now, you know that the president obviously is in charge of the petroleum sector, whether we like it or not. It's unspoken. That ministry has not been given to anybody as the minister. We have Minister of States for different things under that ministry. Obviously, Mr. President has an oversight function. Do you think that we're getting the true picture of what's happening in the petroleum sector, which is also, one way or the other, puts us where we are as a country? It's and you know that our economy is powered by petrol, whether we like it or not, because there's not also stable power supply. Why do you think the president is very silent on what's happening in the NNPC, in the oil and gas sector?
It's quite unfortunate that what's supposed to be source of joy to us has now become a harbor trust, and especially petroleum. And regrettably, I've advocated times without number. I don't hate Aare, but removal of Aare is long overdue. He has caused us more monumental damage than you cannot put somebody that caused us pain to be the same person to come and solve the same problem. Mr. President doesn't have any reason to still keep Aare in office. If he definitely see out the confusion of Dangote and NNPCL, they are the same people that condemn Dangote, that say nobody should patronize Dangote. Is that patriotic as an institution? So we have to tell ourselves the truth. Who are these cabals that are making this government much ungovernable? Yes, Mr. President really had good intention on the removal of the fuel subsidy. The money earned from the fuel subsidy is one of the reasons why our state governors are having increase in their allocation. Accurately, we would have all enjoyed more. But majority of these governors got all this money instead of them to add value to governance. They pocketed this money. It took Mr. President to go and fight for local government autonomy so as to ensure that the local government get their money directly from the state allocation, all in the bid to ensure that there is relief on the pains of the masses. But we have wicked people on these ladders that we are talking about. In as much as Mr. President is managing the oil and gas, he's not strictly the Minister of Petroleum because there is no formal appointment to that effect. He has the Minister of Petroleum.
But that was detail for Buhari. There was no formal appointment for it.
No, you don't give Mr. President the appointment he never gave himself. Buhari was in charge of petroleum, but here he divided gas and the petroleum.
So why don't we have an outright minister for petroleum?
No. Let me say something. We have two ministers that are working in that ministry. We have the NNPC as another institution that is part of the ministry. Everybody are common institution. But the problem is that the way we are being wired many years before now, do you know the NNPC if NNPC have been properly audited today, it can implode the whole country because all the hands of people that are filtered with rot of corruption that, do you think NNPC is just a place that, because they've not been able to unlock, the investigation of the former CBN governor is just a child's play if NNPC were to be investigated today.
Okay.
So, and I want to call Mr. President to audit that department. We want a thorough audit of the last 20 years. What has been our benefit as citizens? We cannot have oil in this country and buy oil for the same petroleum for 1,200, even at any level. There can be a lot of measures that would have solved our problem.
Okay. So you're not placing any of this at the feet of the president. You're placing it yet again at the feet of the ministers. If as a president,
not the ministers now.
Sorry, at the ministers. Sorry.
NNPC.
So yeah, I know. So yes, you're blaming the NNPC and Mele Kyari. You think Mele Kyari needs to go?
It's a big problem.
What do you? Why do you think the president is still keeping Mele Kyari? Let's start from there.
Know. It might be for political.
More conversation, more talk, more right after this. We're back.
We're back.
We're back.
We're back.
We are back.
We're back on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
To fall astray. So it is not about politics. Mr. President should realize that it's about the people. And the people comes first.
Okay. So I'm trying to understand this, because if the president is at the helm of affairs, and in your words, these ministers somewhat are trying to sabotage or doing whatever they think is right as opposed to what the president has in mind, shouldn't it be the place of the president to call them? I mean, I'm thinking, why was there a cabinet reshufflement if you're still saying that the same people, especially the power minister, are the ones who are misinterpreting Mr. President? I was thinking maybe those are the people that should have gone, but they're still there. And if you're saying that these people are not doing what is on the mind of the president, why are they still there? Same question for Mele Kyari. Why are they still there? What is more political than making sure that what you have in mind is played out in the different ministries, departments, and agencies?
You know, the way our democracy is wired around 36 states, around ethnic interests, and the appointment of ministers and appointees within government comes from different routes. And those routes might be one of the reasons why Mr. President is trying to keep calm. It's not that he doesn't understand, but the beautiful thing that this administration have done, it was not unlike before when Buhari was there, was that he had plugged the finances of NNPC directly to CBN. So now we are getting accountability. We can be able to say this is what we are getting. I'm only talking about the almost 10 years of his being there. Now we are just about having a sigh of relief for the first time. But it's getting too late because Mr. President cannot keep to appeal to us. Why those that caused our problem will still be benefiting from it? So we don't hate him as an individual, but the incompetency and a lot of rot in that department about an unaccountable oil that have been sold without any proper, even from the statement of the former governor of Kaduna State. He said NNPC have not been audited and he cannot account for 20 naira of profit from NNPC. That is error-file. So if people are making statements, the former CBN governor equally made such statements, Sanusi, Sanusi, about the subsidy of the past. Who are these people wearing the same Mele Kyari has been at the ends of affairs that leave oil without anything to show for it, and they are being paid? Billions of dollars have gone down the drain. Do we play politics with everything? No.
Okay. So
we love our country, and nobody can push us unreasonably. It's high time we begin to talk. It's not that the fact that it will make Mr. President to lose 2027 election. It's all about how much you can stand for the people. And I know Mr. President will always do that. And we want him to do more. That's why we are challenging him that where the people are complaining, he shouldn't play politics with the interests of the people.
There are those who say that the interest of Mr. President is also in the oil and gas sector, being that he's got personal businesses that are somewhat embroiled in that. And maybe that's the reason why the president is tongue-tied. What are your thoughts?
Well, to me, it's of many scenarios, just as rightly informed. You cannot always, the way you ask your question sometimes is like, you already say Mr. President is guilty, let him prove his innocence. No, to me, it's about, and governance is continual. This country, let me tell you one thing. When Alice Inojomaduke was there as Minister of Petroleum, the rot was there. And that was why when the FCC investigated, you know how much of our money gone down the drain? It's not about ethnicity. It's about the corruption that is endemic in the system. So it is not about the fact that Yes, we're having a minister of gas, we're having a minister of petroleum, but they need to really come out to us, to citizens, and tell us solutions. Citizens can no longer afford the hyper-inflated rate that is going on. The cost of petrol itself is really killing. So no matter how Mr. President wants to tell us that we should bear, people can no longer afford good life. So the sufferings is just at the height and crescendo. So only thing we need now is an emergency situation. Either Mr. President give way for modular refineries, licensing across board to ensure that there are a lot of people within the chain bracket, and this monopoly system of making oil and gas look so opaque that is it not the same oil from the oil rig for refinery and give us our oil at a price that we can afford, and you can sell to international community at any price. But for those of us that are citizens, must have citizens' privilege rights. It's not about subsidy.
Okay.
It's about us gaining what we have. What makes Dubai Dubai is not because they are not selling the same oil, but they use these resources for their people. And that's the same thing that we're about getting after this administration. But unfortunately, as good as the President's visions are, he has just brought in wrong set of appointees to help him implement it. Some don't even have an idea of his vision.
Okay. Doctor, let me ask you a question. It's a very sensitive one. I'm going to try as much as possible to coin it well. During the last End Hunger protest, it was called Hunger Protest, obviously, and then some people called it End Bad Governance Protest. A lot of Yoruba people said that this was, an attack on the president. But there are a lot of other Yoruba people who also came out on the streets. But then it looks more like, at the end of the day, it was an affront on the president. In fact, as we speak, you and I, and you're a lawyer, you've seen those children who were arraigned on television. And the counsel to the presidency called those children adults, married men. Also, the idea behind that protest was about the fact that people were hungry. They could no longer take it. And they were asking that some of these policies be reversed and checked. But all of that was overtaken by events. And all of a sudden, it was about treason as opposed to addressing the hunger situation. Here you are now, months later, as Yoruba Council Worldwide. You're singing the same songs that those people who came out to the streets to protest were singing. What's the difference, and why were you guys not in support of Nigerians when they were asking that Mr. President revisit his policies, programs?
My sister, let me quickly react because there is no time on our side. This country is wired, and some certain things have been weaponized by politicians. And I must confess rightly, media themselves have misguided the citizens and misrepresented some real facts.
How so?
You don't tell, for the fact that there was a protest. Protestation is a fundamental right of citizens. But within the same climb, when we saw, yes, there have been a protest before the End Bad Governance protest, the 10 days of End Bad Governance, there's another protest of the 1st of October that was also part of...
Was a continuation of what happened before.
Let me now explain. And that was where I would blame the light of Shure and the light, the way they mesmerized some demands. You cannot put up 15 demands that call for coup of the government, removal of government by military. You are trying to raise military intentions, trying to raise...
Sorry, who called for the coup? Who called for the coup? No.
It was part of the 15 demands Shure took to the public, and they sell it off. They sold it to the northern people, sold it within the southern region. To me, seditious act. Let me tell you, it's easier for us to be fighting government at all will. But if you are not careful, you would have committed some criminal conduct in the process of you trying to justify your actions. In the process of you trying to justify the actions of what would have led people to raise the Russian flag, the killing in Suleja that killed policemen within that same 10 days, the destruction in Kano, we shouldn't have been part of the demands. Do you think about just trying to raise some set of people? Yes. Wait, I'm coming. Yes, they are reasonable right to request for good governance, for food supply. But to me, one of our solutions, which I've just talked to our people in
Yoruba, because I don't want... No, hold on. Just hang on. I don't want it to fly. You're saying that in the list of demands that Shure put out for that protest. He sold it. You saw him selling it to the North. And if he sold it just to the North, only the Northerners were the ones who carried flags for Russia and wanted to. No. Hold on. I'm quoting you. Hold on. I'm quoting you. You said it on the radio. Hold on, Dotun. I want to put it back to you.
And there are a lot of
you are on the radio and you're live. You're saying that Showore put out a demand saying that they should unseat Mr. President. No, Dotun. We have to set that record straight. At what point did Showore ask that the government of the day be taken off? And at what point did he sell that information to the Northerners? How come it was just the Northerners that Showore sold it to when the protest happened in different parts of the country?
He called for the pardon of Nnamdi Kanu, for all those things. That's not national issues.
I'm sorry. No. I'm stuck on the part where you're saying that Showore called for the president to be dethroned. I really need that fact. I need to know where you got it.
The government. Do you know to call for the end of government? It's not just the bad governance.
I'm sorry. At what point? Show me where Showore asked that the president be unsat, please.
You cannot remove. I have led protests in my life. They know me. You know me. You know the kind of areas and when I'm.
Yeah, but you also know me, and I'm not going to let you get away with that. You have to tell me at what point Showore did that.
No. What I've just admitted right now, I'm not fighting any individual. I'm only trying to state that some certain issues have been mesmerized to lose context. And that's the major reason why a lot of groups just said, okay, we cannot follow this protest. Let us engage the government. And we call for dialogue with the government. One would have just solved the problem that the northern elders, the northern governors that are now counting and relying on the sentiment of the fact that they cost us more monumental havoc to have allowed those kids to be used as a cannon fodder to carry those flags. Those young lads they use as
how come the whole of the country was protesting hunger, but all the government picked on was a group of people carrying flags?
Statement that protest was for hunger, and because they carry the Russian flag and they are right to do that. You cannot, two wrongs don't make a right. You don't push such as an idea. If you are doing that every day, everybody will make the whole country ungovernable. You think if we go into war, you and I will sit in the studio? It's easier to inflame war in a country. Go to other countries that have had some similar experience. They are no longer together.
Dotun, you also act like we've not had protests in this country that have always continuously been hijacked by people who want to steal. It happened when we had October 10 protest.
I will not justify the fact
but again, when you pick on those minor things and make it look like, but that's what you're doing, sir. It looks like you're justifying them.
They are two different things. The minors are the same minors that they give the same INEC card to vote on election day to commit crime. You are not on adult suffrage. You are, as a 5 years, being given INEC card. And that is what they saw with them.
So you're saying, so help us understand. Help us understand, Dotun. I'm so sorry.
Listen to me.
Okay.
What I'm trying to say is that the fact that there is criminal tendency for those juveniles, we have a process in the legal system on how you can prosecute a juvenile. And you should have taken them to a juvenile court whereby their identity will not be disclosed. They should be kept at welfare for the boys or for the girls, welfare homes for rehabilitation. The ways and manner, the lackadaisical attitude of the Nigerian police to have prosecuted that matter was wrong. I have called severally that the Legal Professional Disciplinary Committee should call that prosecutor to order and punish him. I've equally called that the judge should also be sanctioned for an award of 10 million. I've equally called the AGF to enter into nollie prosecute to discontinue that matter and not for him to have a see into a file that has caused us monumental damage. But the entire scenario should be duly investigated to all to know who were the sponsors that raised 87 billion to come and sponsor End Bad Governance protest that the NSA put before the whole world. We want accurate information so that we will not be misled on sentiment.
I want to re-ask a question that I asked earlier on that you have not answered. How did the presidency and Mr. President gloss over the fact that Nigerians were hungry then when they went out for the very first protest and the second protest. But all they have continuously made a big mountain out of is the fact that some people were trying to unseat the president. But the large majority of Nigerians who are asking that the president rethink his policies and programs, that issue has totally become a back burner issue. But you are here today as the Yoruba Council Worldwide, singing the same song, crying about the policies of the president and the fact that Nigerians are dying of hunger, including you. I'm asking, how did that move to becoming an issue of treason?
Let me disabuse your mind, Okon. I don't know your mindset about the president. You might have your set mindset.
No, I don't. I'm asking a simple question that's glaring.
No. Wait, I'm coming. We all are human. I've been on several media shows, and I'll tell the anchor the way I feel. You equally have your mind the way you feel.
Okay.
Let me explain one thing here. I'm putting up a program which
Hello?
The issue of food security in Yoruba land.
Doctor, we're losing you. Hello? Doctor, we're losing you. What? Hello? All right, Doctor, we're going to try to call you back so that we can get you clearly. Let's try and call you back so we can get you clearly. But you could join the conversation. You have questions, you have comments. My guest is Aare Hassan. He is the president of Yoruba Council Worldwide. Would like to hear your thoughts, your comments. The phone lines are open 02077277093. I'll take it again, 02012770993. Ladies, you can call 0201 465-7190. On WhatsApp, you can send your comments 08095975805. We're live on Facebook and YouTube. Post your comment on our live stream. I really hope that we can get Dotun back. Dotun, are you there? Can you hear me? Okay, we're going to try to get Dotun back. And most importantly, I need for him to apologize to Showore because he's made an allegation that's very heavy. Has failed to prove to and Showore that's Mr. Dion. I follow me. I don't know that. And he sold it completely to the nonsense. Wow. Doctor, back here now.
Yes.
Also, before we go further, I would really like for you to apologize to Mr. Showore because you have made a hefty allegation, and you failed to give me hold on, you failed to give me any fact or proof as to when and where Showore gave the Northerners, conveniently sold an idea to unseat Mr. President just to the Northerners in the guise of trying to protest against hunger. But you have made a hefty allegation where you have not presented any proof on national radio.
You don't talk. Wait, you don't criminalize my statement. I've not made any statement. I've only made an assertion. The intentions of Showore when he was in America, and they called him, why don't you want to come here? He said he was going to mobilize people through the social media, which he did. I would not, we all have led protests. I will not be part of a protest that lives will be lost, and you are now still gallivanting and telling us that you are an advocate of the people. We know how the country is being wired. If you are not very careful, this set of guys will lead us into implosion.
At what point did Showore sell the idea of unseating the president to the North?
Wait, let me tell you. The intentions of the draft of those 15 demands is to end the government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
So you think the intention, but that's not what you said at first.
Wait. He supported the Russian flag display by telling the whole world that what is the difference between churches being carrying same flag. As if
Doctor, I have had senior advocates of Nigeria on this show, and they've told us that there is no there's no criminality in waving flags.
Let me tell you, that was seditious, treasonable, and offensive. I don't. Maybe I'm not speaking because of.
So for something being offensive, does that make it criminal? You're a lawyer.
I'm talking of as a government. We cannot lose the position of our government. The day we start losing the position of government in our society, we will all run into anarchy.
Dotun, you're a lawyer. Once again, yes. I want to put it to you. I've had senior advocates of Nigeria on this show. I've had senior lawyers on this show to speak on the issue of that flag. And at no point did they say that in the Constitution, waving of another country's flag is a crime. No. It will be foolhardy for you to tell me. No, it's not. I put it to you again and again that we have had this conversation on the radio and on television. It is not a crime.
In Mali, in Burkina Faso from Russia, the same Russia, through Wagner Group that are already taking over government around West African shores.
You're just making speculations. You haven't given me any proof or facts so far.
Come, my sister, do you realize that this country is already under a threat of military coup in some days before now? Have you realized that the call from the Guardian newspaper that military should intervene?
Again, there you go again, making an assertion that's wrong. The Guardian newspaper, at no point, I have seen that report. At no point.
Your media is blind to
no, Dotu, come on.
The intentions are clear. As a lawyer, let me tell you, we don't talk sentiment. You must have an intention to commit a crime, and you must have manifested that action. You can be deceptive, irrational, you can talk anyhow in order for maybe to wake people's minds off your real intention. But I will not be too careless here. I hate mischievous intentions that have been manifested in the recent time. When the NSAS had their crisis, we all condemned it. When this protest of 10 days of bad governance, I saw it coming, that you cannot lead us into, you are not the only advocate as far as the country is concerned.
Okay.
It's not the solution to governance. If you want to be a president of this country, you cannot lead by force. You cannot say they should remove the government that was elected and you go to the street and you now go to the government house to now burn down the government house. It's easier for you to say.
That's why I just want to bring
countries.
All right, because of time.
So I'm standing on my statement, and I want to.
That's why I want to take calls, please, because of time. Because of time, I want to take quick calls and reactions before I let you go, because we have just 7 minutes on the clock, if you don't mind, okay? Let's just take a few calls. Just stay with us, all right? Hello, welcome to Hard Facts.
Hello, Maryann. This is Market Woman.
Go ahead, Market Woman.
I'm so disappointed. I tell you the truth. So this country now, we are enjoying it, Abi. Is there peace in this country now? Is there peace? Your president that is ruling you now, did he not call for the removal of another president before? Did he not protest? I'm so sorry. Thank you.
Thank you for calling, Market Woman. I do appreciate it. Hello, welcome to Hard Facts.
Yeah, hello.
Yes, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, this is Bola calling from Nigeria.
Bola, go ahead quickly, please.
Yeah, I'm very happy that your guest today has admitted that he has been involved in protest before, and I want to ask him, in that protest that he was involved before, was there no destruction? Was there no interference of some other unscrupulous acts during that his own protest? I want to say something. This particular government of Bola Ahmed Tinubu is instigating some region against some region, and is buying a lot of enemy for the Yorubas. His tenure is going to end some days. After his tenure, I hope the Yoruba will be able to face other regions and ask for their rights when another region is on the throne.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much for calling. I'll just take a few more and then let Dotun respond. Hello.
Yeah, good afternoon, Maryann.
Good afternoon. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
You have the man on the line speaking to you from Ekwe.
All right.
Your guest was saying that some of those ministers, are not working. What he was trying to say, that some of them see their ministerial appointments as a compensation.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, he was saying Mele Kyari should have been fired. Is the blame, the whole blame of how the country is run today, is it not at the doorstep of the president? Is the president not the one who seems not to have capacity to lead this country? Because if you bring in people who are not performing into office, are we going to blame the people, or you are the one we should blame? You the one who brought in those people? That is my question to your guest. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. Doctor, would you mind to respond quickly so far?
Yes, I've listened to the statement. This is not a conflict or fighting round for anybody. We are talking about our country here. I'm a patriotic citizen, and for the fact that you see my statement here, when I'm lashing the president, I lash the president to know that these are wrong. But there is a simple fact that we cannot end our government on the street. It's easier to call for protest, but when protest is already getting to a site that we know how the last election was conducted, it was more of ethnic feud, political attrition, religious acrimony. When we are yet to even get healed of that, the symptoms of those last elections is what we are seeing every day. This government, yes, it might not be doing good in maybe performing excellently, but it has given a roadmap of getting our country on a solution right. But some people, because they are the victims and they are being touched, they are the big toes Mr. President is touching today, they want to make sure that they sponsor every element to make sure that the government is brought down. But the fact that there was an intention to make sure that there is large full scale of food security in this country. This is a government that has already engaged farmers in ensuring that, yes, certain things must be done. And that's why, from my own end, as President Yoruba Council Worldwide, we have called all our obas to a meeting on the 7th, this week, at the Palace of Elegushi, to discuss our interest, to discuss what is this country going forward to. We cannot be fighting the Igbos as if it's our problem. We cannot fight the Hausa Fulani. We have a duty of care to protect this country. We are not just saying, Mr. President, right on, we are behind you. No, we want to summon and review some of it and assess its government.
Okay.
And I know, as Obas in Yoruba land, at the Yoruba's Oba Summit on the 7th, we are here to talk about development of the country.
Okay.
And it's our duty. Let the Igbos go back, discuss the development. Let Hausa, not that it will get to a time, the northern people will say they are not going to pay tax, and you expect we in the south to pay tax.
Oh,
people will keep quiet as if we're in a common country. No.
Doctor, I don't think you want to go there. Just hold on. Let's take another quick response from the callers. Let's take one more call. Hello. Welcome to Hard Facts.
Hello, Mary. Good evening.
Good evening. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Okay, my name is Robert.
Go ahead.
I'm coming from Ikoyi right now. For your guest there, we thank God for him because he said that he liked his brother Ahmed Trumbo, that he know what he can do. All these things that he's trying to, we are all Nigerians, we know, and he's a politician. This one that is a lawyer, he's a politician. We know where he's going. But thank God, you understand that he said that the past protest that he was among the people that protest. Market Bowman asked him a question. He didn't answer it before. He's trying to play in category. You understand? The woman asked him, Mr. Boda Ahmed Trumbo, was he not the one that protest? And in fact, he sent for sponsors to protest and sent Goodluck Jonathan out of power. He didn't answer that one. He just went to answer another thing.
All right.
You understand? We know what is going. You understand? See, let me tell the whole Nigerians, what they are going to discuss on the 7th of this month, it will not have any good impact.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much for calling. Because of time, that's why I'm letting you go. But we just have 45 seconds to go, Dotun. So I'm going to let you respond quickly before I let you go.
Yes, times run with place and time. Even rules of engagement. I don't talk sentiment. The era of when Jonathan protest was calling up, not that the entire country was just keeping quiet. There were a lot of issues just as we have under the Buhari and the other government. Protestations under that government was also there, and there have been protests also in this government.
Doctor, we have 10 seconds. 10 seconds. 10 seconds.
But the major thing is the fact that the protest being led now is a protest to cause us into civil unrest and civil war. We can be easy. Let me tell you.
5 seconds, Dotun. We have to go.
It's easier for me to just come here and tell Mr. President, go correct all these anomalies. Put food on the table of the people. Food should not be sold for free, but let there be accessible.
All right.
Decrease the fuel price.
Dotun, we have to go.
Let us have accessible to good living.
We have to go, Dotun. Right. We have to go now.
It's all right.
All right. Thank you so much. Aare Dotun Hassan is a lawyer and also the president of Yoruba Council Worldwide. Thank you so much for coming on the show, Dotun.
Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you. Well, it's almost time for us to go for that break at the At the top of the hour? Okay. When we come back from the quick break, I can read a few of your messages. We're live on Facebook and on YouTube. I'm going to read your YouTube messages. We just have a very short break to go for. When we come back, I'll do justice to some of those messages and then we'll wrap things up. Don't go away because on the 4 o'clock hour...
More news and information coming up. We'll be back in a moment.
365 days of conflict. Hamas attack on Israel on October 7th killed 1,200 and kidnapped 250. To date, Israel has killed over 42,000, including 17,000 children, and decimated 70% of Gaza. These are not just numbers, they are lives forever changed. Join us for the first of our annual Borderlines Debate, a symposium on the Middle East crisis on Thursday, November 7th at 4 p.m. An exclusive special event where ambassadors, diplomats, and humanitarian voices will gather to debate the yesterday, today, and the way forward for Israel, Palestine, and the Middle East, live on TV and radio. Is there a pathway for peace? Speakers include Palestinian ambassador to Nigeria, His Excellency Abdulhal Abu Shawez, Nigeria's Minister of Foreign Affairs, His Excellency Ambassador Yusuf Tuga, OON, Ambassador Joe Keshi, former Nigerian ambassador to the USA, Chief Femi Fani Kayode, former Minister of Aviation, Sadawa Kin Shikafi, and Professor Bolaji Akiyemi, Nigeria's former External Affairs Minister, to name a few. The Borderlines Debate on November 7th at 4 p.m. This is a chance to hear from both sides. Real stories, real stakes, real solutions. Don't miss the repeat broadcast on Friday, November 8th at 4 p.m. The Borderlines Debate, Thursday, November 7th, 2024 at 4 p.m. Media Syndicate Partners, Radio Now, Voice of the People FM, Liberty TV, and Plus TV.
Mom's love is pure. She does. Mom's special jollof. It's a smile on your face. Mom's your be fine. Cheers you up. Mom tastes too. Nourishes the family. Golden Terra oil. Tasty. Golden Terra oil. Nourishing. Golden Terra oil.
Golden Terra Oil helps Mom pour her love in the tasty, nourishing meals she cooks for her family. Golden Terra Oil, pour pure love.
Welcome back to your number one talk, news, and sports station. This is Nigeria Info.
Millions of listeners trust us on Hard Fact. Whether it's politics, social issues, controversies, and trending stories, you know we're credible and objective.
It's Hard Facts with Maryann Okon on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
So I've got just about a minute and a few seconds to go. So I'm just going to run through some of the messages that you sent in. This was a very interesting conversation. I know, unfortunately, we didn't have enough time to take your rebuttals. Ibrahim Ogundeko here on YouTube Live says, such a sentimental guest, speaking with such a equivocation. I thought a lawyer would speak facts, but what? His responses were like a newspaper stand gibberish, in my opinion. Your guest was not sincere. And Jeremiah here says, a very funny country. Interesting. On Facebook Live, quickly, Otto Francis Namani says our political leaders should change their mindset and prioritize overwhelming interest of the masses. And Daya Dada says, concerning the miners protesting and arrested over hunger and protest, it's a national and international disgrace that made us the world's laughing stock, he says. Okay. Quickly on on YouTube, WhatsApp, I beg your pardon. Messi from Vestac says, I'm not surprised and I'm disappointed at your guest, Dotun. I feel so irritated when someone like him says we love our country when you are not speaking the truth or even doing the right thing to favor the good people of this great nation. We have many like this, and that's why we're here today. This one says, your guest seems to be playing defending role for the government, but his analysis appears biased, possibly due to his affinity to Mr. President or personal ambitions tied to the ethnicity. The fact that minors are being paraded in court is a national and international embarrassment. Instead of holding the actual sponsors accountable, they're targeting these young individuals for protesting against the widespread hunger in the country. This man owes Comrade Omoyole Sowore an unreserved apology. It's clear we still have a long way to go in this country. Oluwaseun from Ikore Ikorodu. And that's it, Lagos. We've got to go. The news is at the top of the hour with Yvonne Ohaifo. And then, of course, Kalu Ajay is joining us live to talk to us. I like to ask, to explain to us like we were 4-year-olds. But then the North is still kicking against this whole VAT thing. And, of course, the Senate Committee on Finance is saying we're going ahead with it, notwithstanding what the North says. So stay with us. We'll be right back after this break.
Not many can serve you the way we do.
We go all the way.
You guys are always keeping your voice down when you're benefiting from the government.
I think you've heard before that monkey swallowed billions of naira. This one now, Scorpion will soon swallow billions.
Then my landlord gave me quick notice because
99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.